Oh, yeah, whiskey. You know that thing you have to relax, to get drunk? Good old booze. You can even have it with your friends. Nah, I'm just joking. I don't have friends. Okay, so whiskey. I would say a joke, but my relationship with whiskey is on the rocks. That means ice. Okay. So during the American Revolution, many of the states went into debt. So Alexander Hamilton said to the government, "Hey, you should help the states with their debt." But Congress was like, "Yeah, how about we don't? And we should put a tax on whiskey that causes a rebellion that lasts years." Are you stupid? Shh. We're doing it anyway. I don't care. Yeah, you see there, kids? That's what we call foreshadowing. Okay, so guess what? Your boy George Washington's back, and he's saying no to this new plan because he's George frickin' Washington. Wait, am I gonna get in trouble for saying all this, like, with the booze, whiskey? No, that's good, but frickin'. Sorry, not sorry. George Washington was such a good guy. He went from Virginia to Pennsylvania, asking people, "Hey, do you like this idea?" No? Great. But government officials did like the idea. Yeah, politics gotta ruin everything, am I right? Well, Donald Trump. Congress passed the bill, and as you guessed, people started protesting how it was unfair to poor people that made whiskey. Because there was no tax brackets back then, I think. I'd barely understand them, but I'm rambling again. Get back on task. Okay, it was 6 cents per gallon, which doesn't sound good, but it can stack up after a while. But poor whiskey makers had to do 9 cents per gallon, and only cash was accepted, making it harder to deal with. Yada yada. You know how this goes. They didn't want to pay, and the collectors had a bad time. One notable thing that happened was on September 11th, 1791. A man named Robert Johnson was doing his usual collection when, boom, 11 men dressed up as women showed up and, let's just say they tarred and feathered him and stole his horse, leaving him abandoned in the woods. He did recognize 2 of the men and filed for a complaint and a warrant. Others had the same done to them, including John Carter. He was tied up to a tree for 5 hours. Doesn't sound fun. There was a time where a guy named Benjamin Wells, whose home was broken into twice, and one time a mob came in and assaulted his children and wife. A man named David Lennox? I'll put it up on screen. That's the best I'm doing, okay? I'm tired. Was serving courts for 60 people who had not paid their taxes. And on July 14th, David and another man named Neville accepted the job of being tax collectors. The next day, a man named William Miller refused to go to court and an argument started. And when they ran off, an angry mob came. Some even had muskets and pitchforks. Wow, that pitchfork stereotype is real. Huh. They got away and everything was fine. But then the next day, Neville on Bower Hill was just sleeping when some people came and formed a mob. It woke them up, and he told them get off his lawn. But they refused, and he grabbed the gun and shot in the crowd, killing a man named Oliver Miller. That escalated quickly. Then the mob just shot back. Talk about fighting fire with fire. Then he sounded an alarm that made the slaves attack the people from outside his home. 6 were wounded and fled, planning their revenge. Then the next day, a mob of 700 people came, but 10 soldiers came to protect the home and answered that he was not there. The mob told the soldiers to surrender, but when they refused, a gunfight occurred and they set the house on fire. Later, when the leader died, his name is James McFarland. Great name. They set all the other surrounding buildings on fire, and the soldiers surrendered. Then the rebellion kind of continued. There were threats like 7,000 men heading to Pittsburgh, but they just got handled. Pittsburgh gave them a lot of whiskey. Ooh, fun. I chose not to give the whole explanation because it's not really important to the rest of the whole plot of the rebellion. So everyone figured enough is enough. Alexander Hamilton wanted to send troops, but Washington was all peace and stuff. So Washington tried his peace method. It failed terribly. Not even going to sugarcoat it. It failed badly. So they sent in the troops. And then 12,000 militiamen came under Washington's orders. He met with the rebels and tried to negotiate, but he sent in the militia. By the time it arrived, most of the rebels were gone, already fled the fight, and only 2 were charged with treason. They were later pardoned by George Washington, but that was kind of the end. Soon after, the tax was repealed and the rebellion went with it, thus ending the rebellion. Okay, I'm Richard Alves, and you're watching CCN. Clever. And I would make a joke, but on the off chance you guys don't like it, it's too whiskey. Whiskey, risky. It's not a good joke. I'm running out. I'm so desperate for jokes. I use the same ending joke twice. Okay? I'm done. I'm just done.